Mr. Tony de la Llama, please tell me about when you left Cuba and why.
Well, first of all, we left Cuba on November 8, 1960, the day that President Kennedy was elected President of the United States. The reason we left Cuba is my dad had gone to the university with Fidel Castro and early on realized that he was a communist, and he did not want my brother and I to have to live and grow up in that environment. The day we left Cuba, I remember a lot of crying in my house with my grandfather and my uncles because we were leaving. Obviously, but being 11 years old, did not realize that it was a final goodbye with my family members. And as a child, I just took it like a, like we were going away on vacation. As it basically was told about to me. Once we got to the airport, we sat in a big room full of windows overlooking the tarmac and the waiting area at the airport, and we had all these soldiers with long rifles looking at us, asking us questions, asking us what we were taking with us, that it was too much. I remember going through the line when it was our turn, and I was bringing my bike with us, and I was forced to leave it. My mom and dad were forced to leave 2 out of the 4 suitcases, and there was only 4 of us, my brother, myself, Aman and I. And the embarrassment of having to go through, open up our suitcases and having to change clothing from one to the next to make sure that all of us had clothing in those 2 bags, because normally we just would have 1 bag for each of us to bring. Once we got in the plane, after about an 8-hour wait with nothing to drink and nothing to eat because they wouldn't allow us to do anything like that, we got on a Cubana Airlines plane, and once the doors were closed and we started taxiing, there was a lot of crying and sobbing in the plane from everyone. I remember my dad crying because I was sitting next to me and my brother was sitting with my mom, and I did not understand the reasons why they was crying in the plane, especially seeing my dad cry. But it took me many years to realize that the cry for my father was because he was never going to see his father again, or never see his homeland. And it becomes very difficult for me even to speak about it this day. And so pretty much that's the reason, and then that's how we left Cuba. Just that my dad thought that we would not grow up in a communist society.
What happened once you reached Miami?
Again, a lot of crying because a lot of people had relatives here, and they felt released and they could express themselves. So we got here and we moved in with my aunt in a 1-bedroom apartment, 9 of us living, including my grandmother when she came in a couple of weeks later.
And you left Cuba before Castro became dictator?
Castro was a dictator from the moment he was a revolutionary in the mountains.
But had Batista been overthrown?
Yes, Batista was overthrown.
Thank you.